Right, I am Gaz Drinkwater. This is the Full-Time Devils Burton preview. Seamless, slick the way I started that. Right, guys, we're going to get straight into it because, let's face it, the last few weeks have been pretty darn sweet for Man United, bagging goals left, right and centre against opposition that I think are actually quite decent at times. So I've got Joshi with me, I've got Suf with me, and I've got some fella called Adam McKola. You might have heard of him. He's with me as well. Adam, I tell you what, we'll start with you actually. What has been the difference this season with bagging all these goals than it has been the past few seasons? Because, I mean, in certain games, the Everton game included, the performance maybe wasn't that much better than we've seen in the past. However, we're scoring loads of goals in games that we've drawn 0-0 in the past.
Yeah, I think it's just been taking chances, and you look at Lukaku and Nemanja Matic and the difference that they've made. It's been phenomenal. But I was tweeting about this the other day, where you look at all the goals that we've scored, apart from the West Ham game where Lukaku scored 2. But when we've scored 4 against who else did we score 4 against? Swansea and Everton. When we scored 3 against Basel. When we scored twice against Stoke and twice against Leicester. All the goals in those games have come from different players, and we've been getting goals from all over the pitch, goals from the bench, and it's been great to see us taking our chances. But I think Nemanja Matic giving us that balance in that midfield has allowed the front four to just do their job and get the goals that we need. And you look at the weekend, and I think it will be something that you continue to see throughout the season, that Manchester United are so solid at the moment. And with Matic sitting there, yes, we do give chances away at times. And in David De Gea, we got the best goalkeeper in the world. So he keeps quite a lot out. But we keep it 1-0 for a while. And when teams tire and we bring Martial or we bring Rashford off the bench or we bring Lingard off the bench and teams are opening up to us and trying to get back into the game, we just punish them on the counter-attack. And we've seen that against Swansea. We saw that against West Ham, I think, and we saw that against Everton, and it's good to watch, man.
Can you imagine anything worse than being a team where half your players are breathing out your arse, but you're trying everything to get a draw at Old Trafford? Then you see Anthony Martial warming up. I mean, you know what I mean? That is when you're just thinking, yeah, sod this, I'm going home. Suf, let's go to you, mate. What do you think the difference is from the last few seasons?
I think for the first time in a while, we've got a striker who's actually hungry, he's raw, he's young, and he's gunning for every opportunity. No disrespect to Ibra and the sort of efforts of him, his efforts last season. I think with Ibra being in the team and the sort of his age, etc., we seems quite lethargic, even when we were getting balls in good positions. And out of the chances that he would get in a game, 3, 4, 5 chances, he'd maybe score 1 or 2. Nevertheless, he still got a good record last season. But I think Adams mentioned it just then as well. We're getting goals from all over the pitch, and there seems to be a good bit of dynamic building now as well between Rashford and Martial. I think whenever one comes off the bench and scores, they deserve to start the game. When they start the game and don't score, the other one comes off the bench and scores the goal. So as long as that keeps on happening, I think we'll be all right. There were moments in the game against Everton up until about maybe 78th, just before Rooney came off, where you're thinking shades of last season here, where we might not be able to shut the game out, and we could see Everton potentially sneaking a late equaliser. But once they're tired, and I think that's the difference, we're being more clinical and we've been a bit more ruthless, and it's great to see. Long may it continue.
Yeah, I like that you pointed out Ibrahimovic and Lukaku, so the sort of difference between those two then as well, because like last season, a lot of people were saying that we were almost relying on him, but this season, despite the fact that we're seeing Lukaku shine, and I'm not taking anything away from him, like Adam says, it's great to see the goals being spread around the rest of the team as well. Joshi, do you think it's primarily because of the striker, or is there anyone else you want to pick out for why we're scoring so many goals?
I think there's a few things that contribute to this. The boys have touched on a couple of them. Lukaku is a completely different player to Zlatan. He stretches the defence, he creates space, and you've seen how Mkhitaryan has taken advantage of that in the final third. Mata's ghosting into different positions. You've got Martial and Rashford who are taking on the tired defenders, getting goals. So the way in which Lukaku can occupy the centre-backs and the other defenders, it just creates all those little pockets of space. I mean, against Everton, we took our time to get to that point, but ultimately, you've got that different dynamic in terms of his pace and his movement up front. You've got a much more confident team. I think you're seeing Martial is a lot more settled and For whatever reason, he looks a lot more confident. Again, with Rashford, he seems to have worked on his finishing and his effectiveness in the final third. So there's a lot of things coming together. And the other thing is these guys have played together for a season already last year, and you've got Lukaku coming in offering a different type of threat, which I think opens it up for them. And as Adam pointed out, Matic coming in has really provided a solid base for that. And with Pogba, when he was in the side, it was really quite awesome to watch. So I think there's a lot of things coming in there, and a lot of it is to do with that sort of confidence and that intensity right the way through the 90 minutes.
Right, so we are, of course, playing Burton in the... What's it called?
Is it what?
Cola Cup.
The
Rumble
Cup? Is that...
We got Milk Cup, I heard Worthington Cup then, I heard League Cup and I heard Carling Cup. I think it's called the, hang on, I've got it here somewhere. The Carabao Cup is the official name. I'm just going to call it the League Cup for the rest of this. But we're playing Burton in the League Cup. We've seen United in the past, Ferguson in particular, take the absolute piss against teams like this in this competition and play a youth side. But it's important not to forget that they are in the Championship. So not a dreadful team, a team that can certainly cause us problems, because I was thinking that Burton were a bloody League Two side going into this. But do you think that Jose is going to play a load of young lads this game then, or do you reckon he's going to use it for fitness throughout the team? Joshi, let's start with you, since we finished on you then.
Yeah, I think I'll be surprised if we play a team that's filled with youth players. We've got a few. The thing is, it's early on in the season, but he's played a pretty settled side. He'll probably give Lindelof a game. Luke Shaw apparently has come back to full fitness. You're going to have to give minutes to certain players like Carrick and Herrera, because they're potentially going to be needed with Pogba out, and you don't want them just coming straight in from the cold with a lot of rustiness, which we saw when Herrera came in against Stoke. So I think you'll see a pretty strong team. It won't be the first 11, which we've sort of pretty much seen up until now, but it'll be he'll take the opportunity to give minutes to players that haven't had so many so far in the season. That's what I think anyway. And to be fair, the players that I thought would come in as youth players, they're all out on loan anyway and injured. So I think it's going to be different. I can't really see where the youth players are going to come in and really sort of, take on that entire lineup. There might be a couple on the bench, potentially one in the starting lineup, but I doubt it.
I think Angel Gomez should be on the bench though, because his contract situation isn't sorted yet. He played against Palace last season. We've got big teams sniffing around him. He's a talented player. He's constantly doing it at a lower level, academy level. And he's one of those talents that we've got to be careful we don't let slip through our fingers, because if he was to leave the club on like a deal where we're just getting compensation for it, it'd be a big, big loss for Manchester United. So I think Angel Gomez is one that we need to get in and around the first team, training with the first team, on the bench for games like this. This is Burton Albion. It's very likely we'll be 2-3, 4-0 up if things go to plan. So, and this could be clipped up and look really stupid.
I can't wait for that to go viral on Monday.
Like when you look at the form and you look at the game, it's Burton Albion at home in the League Cup. Jose Mourinho's already said that it's not one of the priorities this season. And I just think him being on the bench and having the potential to bring him off the bench when we're 2-3-0 up with 30 minutes to go, I think would be massive, and it would probably help us get his contract over the line as well.
How old is he, Angel, now? 17?
17, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, it's about time to get him on the bench then. He's about the age ready. Suf, are any young players in particular that you want to see?
I think, like Josh has already mentioned, quite a few of the players are already out on loan or injured. I think the two main attacking players that I would like to sort of see getting a run out is Scott McTominay and obviously Angel or Angel Gomez. It'll be more of the experienced players that are getting the chance to play. People who haven't already played in the season. Axel Tuanzebe is actually injured as well, I think. So that's a bit of a shame. It'd have been nice to see him getting a run out, but I'm sure they'll be other opportunities throughout the rest of the season for him if we progress in this cup.
Right, we're going to go to a quick break in a sec, but before that, I want to get some comments in, see what people have been saying. Alf Saf's comment saying, can you ask Adam if he would like to see Rashford and Martial on each wing, or whether it's best with either of them on the left and Mata on the right? I personally agree with the latter option there. What are you saying, Adam?
You'll see my team in a bit, but I think we should play Rashford at number 9, Martial on the left, because last season we didn't play Rashford in a number 9 position, I think, until, was it Blackburn away in the cup when Zlatan was suspended? I think that was the first time he played in a number 9 position all season. And God forbid Romelu Lukaku picked up an injury. We would want someone to be able to play in that number 9 position straight away. So I think giving Rashford minutes in the 9 position would be beneficial for everyone. And play him against Burton, please. Goals.
Another comment from Daniel Anoli says, would love to see some of the young lads starting tomorrow. Lukaku should be rested. So should Matic. I think that it's pretty certain that those two definitely won't be playing, because Michael Carrick's definitely going to be getting a game, I should think. Kamal says Mkhitaryan will be Premier League Player of the Season. I'm not sure about that. I've been quite disappointed with Mkhitaryan at times this season so far. Genuinely, genuinely I have. I mean, I'm not even joking. In the last game against Everton, right? He got the goal and he's been racking up assists throughout the game. But there are times in some games where he seems like he's just trying a little bit too much. Do you know what I mean?
Guys, I can see where you're coming from. But
do you know what I mean?
With someone like Mkhitaryan, I genuinely see where you're coming from. I tweeted after about 60 minutes that I thought Mickey should have came off against Everton, and then he popped up with a goal. And he's done that in a lot of games where he's kind of gone through the game, not done much, but then killed it with an assist or a goal. And I think with Mkhitaryan, I think everyone's quick to say, he's giving the ball away, or he's doing this, doing that. We've got to allow him to take risks.
Yeah.
He's in that position where he's going to have to play through balls and try things. But I think he slows it down sometimes, and that's really annoying.
Well, this is what I said to you in the fan cam, didn't I? Like, I'm in two minds with Mick. On one hand, I don't want to see him giving the ball away all the time, but on the other, there's loads of times in the past where I've had a go at United players for playing too safe and not trying enough. So it's nice to see him trying things, and at the end of the day, if it only works one time out of 10, then it'll probably result in a goal. So happy days. Right, we're going to be going to a 30-second ad break. Some people will get it, some people won't, but we'll be back in 30 seconds. See you in a bit.
Hit that like button right now, by the way, guys.
And we're back, right? We're back.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like button, says Adam McKola. So, go and do it. Go and subscribe to us as well. We're trying to reach a ridiculous number before the end of the season. Starting 11 time. Let's get straight into this. Who are you saying is going to play against Burton? I'm not anticipating anyone getting this 100% bang on, to be honest. I'll be mighty impressed. Suf, let's start with you, mate.
Okay, this is probably the starting 11 that I'd like Mourinho to put out, rather than probably what he will end up putting out. So I've gone for a goalkeeper, Romero, a back four of Darmian, Lindelof, Smalling and Shaw, if he's probably going to play. Hopefully he does play. Midfield duo of Carrick and Herrera holding. I think Carrick, it'd be great for him to come back, marshal that team. And Herrera needs games. I think, like Joshi said earlier, he was a bit rusty against Stoke, and it was good for him to come on against Everton, so he deserves to start. I've got Lingard on the right, Scott McTominay in the number 10 position, and Angel Gomez on the left with Martial up front. So this is the team that I'd like him to play. I don't think he'll play this team, but it'd be nice.
It'd be nice to see Gomez and Martial playing together, man. It won't happen. It won't happen, but I really do want to see it. Adam, what's your starting 11, pal?
Romero, Darmian, Smalling, Lindelof, Shaw. So I've gone with the same back five. I did, when I sent it to producer Chris, I did do a midfield three of Carrick, Fellaini, Herrera. But I think it'll be more of a 4-2-3-1 with Fellaini as part of the three. And then I've gone with, so Carrick, Fellaini, Herrera, Lingard on the right, Rashford through the middle, Martial on the left. Angel Gomez, I want him to be on the bench, like I said. Lingard came on at the weekend. I was getting a bit of stick from one of my mates that sits near me because of the amount of times I give Jesse support on that. But I thought Jesse again come on, and he helped stretch things for United, and he helped change the game in our favour. Yeah, so give him a start, man. Give Mickey a rest as well. Like we said, he hasn't been as good in the last 2 games as he was in the earlier part of the season. Although he's got a goal and an assist, I think, in the last 2 games, he hasn't been that good. Give him a little bit of a rest and then bring him back in at the weekend at Southampton.
Yeah, I think 2 players that we're definitely going to see without doubt, Michael Carrick and Herrera. Both players that need games, so I would love to see that. Joshi, what is your 11 then? Have you stuck any youngsters in there?
Well, I've done an 11 of what I think it will be, as opposed to what I'd like to see. So no, I don't think there will be any youngsters in there. Well, depending on none of the youth players in there. But I've gone Romero in goal. I mean, actually, the back four I meant to choose is different to what I sent to producer Chris. But it's Romero in goal, Darmian on the right, Smalling, Lindelof at centre back. That Lindelof will need to have more minutes to get up to speed. Luke Shaw at left back. Then I've gone midfield 3 of Carrick, Herrera, Fellaini. I've put Lingard on the right. I think he needs minutes. I put Martial on the left, and I've actually put Lukaku up top because I think he just wants to get, I quite like the idea of him being up top, and I think he just wants him to just batter Burton, maybe get a hat trick, and then take him off at half time. That'd be pretty awesome. So stat pad a little bit, but also boost the confidence and whatnot.
That wouldn't surprise me because he played Zlatan in similar games last season.
Exactly. Yeah, I think just get it out of the way. And the other thing is, Rashford looked a bit leggy at the weekend, and I'm not saying he needs a rest. Yeah, I'm not saying he needs a rest. I'm just maybe there's maybe just needs to be Mourinho might just think, well, just go with Lukaku up top. And plus, we don't really have a youth player, a striker who can just come in because I believe didn't James Wilson play last night, and they don't really have a striker to just sort of come in and have a little go up top. So that's what I've gone with.
You know what? Someone the other day said to me James Wilson will definitely play against Burton, and it sort of blew my mind a little bit. I didn't realise he still played for us. Genuinely, James Wilson, I thought he was out somewhere or something. Right, I tell you what, this is going to be the shortest.
Somewhere.
I just assumed he. I assumed he disappeared into the distance.
I thought we'd sold him, to be honest, but actually he went out on loan, didn't he? And then he's obviously come back.
James Wilson was the first player to ever play for Man United that was younger than me while I was watching him. There's a little fact for everyone. Right, so I sort of harbour a bit of bitterness towards him a little bit. Right, let's talk about the opposition. This is just going to be the shortest part of any preview that we've ever done where we talk about the opposition, because I'm going to assume that none of us have a bloody clue. Joshi, let's start with you. Do you know anything about Burton, mate?
Yeah, I mean they're in the Championship. They've got a few players. I mean, look, the Championship's a decent level. No. Like you said earlier, it's not. We're not talking about a League Two side which who we could sort of blow away easily. We have to be careful. Try not to get injured as well, because they're obviously going to be an aggressive team. They've won 3 of their last 6 and only lost 1, so they're in relatively decent form. They're not really known for. They haven't really bagged that many goals. I think they've got 6 goals in those matches, and they've all come from different players. So it's not like they have a specific threat in there. To be honest, the only player that I recognised initially when I looked at the team was Marvin Sordell, but then we looked through it and there's some other players in there. But I'll leave them for you guys to pick out. But yeah, I think they play a 3-5-2. It's all the rage these days. So I think they'll obviously stack it up at the back and try and we're going to have to be patient and try and break them down. But eventually, I hope that the class will tell, especially if Lukaku starts. I'm sure he'll cause more than a few problems.
Lower league clubs playing a 3-5-2. What has happened to football? The game's gone mad. Adam, go on. Is there anyone in there? Is there anyone in there that I recognise?
That is the most baffling thing you've ever said.
And it's got some competition as well. Adam, is there any old boys in the team that used to play in the Premier League or something like that maybe I'll recognise? I don't know.
Lloyd Dyer?
No.
You know him?
No.
Is it Stephen Bywater?
No.
Thanks for that, Adam. I was going to mention it.
Oh yeah, shit was that?
And picked him out, but no.
You can use Stephen Warner.
Yeah, go on then, Suf. You tell us about Bywater. What's he got?
Stephen Warner, that's the one.
Stephen Warner. I've just used him.
Right, so they've got Stephen Warnock, they've got Bywater, and they've got, is it Marvin Sordell?
Not bad. Nigel Class, their manager, they retained their championship status last season. And they're a team that's going to be well organised, but everyone in the championship is. I mean, that division, anyone can beat anybody.
Yeah.
And they'll come to United. The last time they came to United was in the FA Cup. I can't remember what year it was now, but it was a while ago. 2006
it was. We drew 0-0 first, didn't we? Away.
Yeah, Ronaldo played against them in the second game, I think, in the replay. So, we've got previous with them.
Damn those computer gremlins. Every single time, they always get in there and mess with the wires. Right, score predictions, that's what we were going to talk about. Are we going to batter them, or is it going to be a bit closer, or is it just going to be a pretty boring midweek home game at Old Trafford against a lower league team? Suf, what score are you saying?
4-0. I think it's been our favourite scoreline of the season. So I think let's carry on the optimism and hopefully a goal or two for Martial as well, just to boost his confidence a little bit, and hopefully Rashford coming off the bench and scoring a couple as well. So
that's your 4 sorted.
If it's 4-0, and it's in the 90th minute, I'm not going to be wanting us to score anymore, to be honest. I'm going to be like, let's just keep it as this. We'll make it sort of like a trivial thing. McKola, score.
4-0.
Right, Josh,
are you allowed to say the same thing?
You're not allowed to say 4-0, Joshy, because we've had 2 4-0s there. What are you saying, 4-0?
5-0.
All right, McKola's saying 5-0. Joshy, what are you saying?
It's a bit ridiculous to say 6-0. Well, actually, it wouldn't be. I think it's going to basically follow the pattern we've followed all season. It's going to be tight for a while. We'll bag a goal. It'll be tight again, and then it'll all just fall apart for them at the end of the match, towards the end of the game. So, I mean, I was going to say 4-0. Adam said 5-0. I'm just going to be a bit conservative and say 3-0.
You know what? I'm going to be even more conservative and miserable than that. I think it's just going to be a pretty dull affair. Like a game at Old Trafford against a team like that at home in this competition. I don't think anyone's going to be arsed, including the fans and the players as well. I think that maybe 2-0. Something like that. A game that we're in control of, but we don't necessarily batter them. But either way, go through to the next round and we'll be happy. So, thank you very much for watching us. This has been the Full-Time Devils Burton preview in the League Cup game. Forgot the name of the thing again. Get in your comments below and comment on all our videos as well, because we always come back to them in future videos. And subscribe as well, because we're trying to get 500,000. Is it 500,000 we're trying to get before the end of the season? Yeah, 500,000 before the end of the season, which, to be honest, I think...
That's all right.
To be honest, I think that'll only happen if we win the league or get relegated. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back next time. Laters.